Do you consider that you find yourself prepared for the greatest of challenges in your entire life? Imagine hearing that.
Wow. Quite an opening line.
Right. That's how this deep dive starts.
Yeah.
We're looking at a transcript from a YouTube video. It's called El Sendero de la Iniciación Parte 14. It's by Marcelo Martorelli on the Más Allá del Pensamiento channel.
Beyond thought. Yeah, I know the one. So this is framed as a moment within the mysteries of Isis, a master and disciple interaction.
Exactly. A really pivotal moment, it seems.
And the setup itself is fascinating. This question posed within, the context of ancient Egyptian mysticism, it definitely signals something big is about to happen.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And the master, he really lays it out there. He tells the disciple point blank that tomorrow he's going to meet the being who's watched over him, protected him through all his life.
Someone who knows him completely, inside and out.
Yes. And can reflect back his highest potential. And here's the kicker.
There's more.
Yeah, this meeting is also the key. The key to making his biggest dreams actually happen.
Okay, that's huge. A life-altering encounter, potentially. No wonder the disciple might feel a bit unprepared.
Exactly. The transcript says he's worried, confused. You can almost feel the weight dropping onto him.
Which naturally leads him to ask.
Right. He immediately asks, Master, but who are you referring to? Who am I going to meet? He needs to put a name or some kind of identity to this monumental idea.
And the master's answer, it's quite simple, but loaded with meaning. He just says, my master.
Which is unexpected, right?
Yeah.
Because the disciple then points out, well, he brings up this understanding they seem to share.
That the master's own teacher isn't exactly walking around on this plane of existence.
Correct. He says something like, pardon me, but I don't understand, Master.
He knows this teacher exists in a different dimension, a non-physical one. So how can he meet him?
So we're getting into interdimensional beings here, beings outside our normal space-time. The master confirms it, yeah. That his teacher is from another dimension, but has chosen to access their reality. He has, but, and this is crucial, the master says this isn't a sure thing. It all depends.
It depends on what?
On their state of consciousness, on their inner state. That's the condition for this being to appear.
Wow. Think about that. A meeting that relies entirely on your inner readiness. That's quite a condition.
Isn't it? And the master shares a bit about himself here. He says he's waited for this, believed in this possibility for a long, long time, even though he's never actually met his teacher physically.
Never, despite being his master.
Apparently not. But he's held on to the belief. And now the possibility feels real, and he describes himself as being in a state of maximum fullness, just thinking about it.
And he emphasizes this is beyond our usual understanding, right? Beyond physics, beyond human logic.
He does. He makes it clear this isn't something you can explain away easily.
Well,
it operates on different principles entirely.
Which makes the disciple's next question completely understandable. It's very human.
Yeah, he asks almost humbly, I will meet a being from another dimension, but what have I done to deserve this, Master? That feeling of maybe unworthiness or just sheer disbelief.
Totally. And the master's response is quite profound, actually. He doesn't just say you deserve it. He stresses the potentiality of it. He says the teacher may come or not.
Right, it's not guaranteed.
I don't believe it.
It hinges on that internal condition they talked about. It brings back that element of uncertainty.
So it's not a reward necessarily, but an opportunity dependent on their inner state.
Exactly. And the disciple picks up on that uncertainty, asking, so he might not come either, right? You can hear the doubt creeping in. Is this real? Is it just wishful thinking?
It's a perfectly natural reaction. And this is where belief comes into sharp focus. The master basically says, look, if we don't open ourselves to the possibility of this miracle, if we don't believe,
then it just won't happen. Simple as that.
Right. He makes a conscious choice right there to believe, to embrace this potential, however unlikely it seems. And then he asks the disciple to join him in that choice.
And the disciple agrees. He says, same as you, Master. I choose. I would love for him to come. It's like they're setting an intention together.
A shared commitment. Okay, so they've made this choice to believe. What happens next?
Well, this is where things get synchronistic,
Well,
really synchronistic. They go for a walk, apparently, and then this truck drives past.
a truck.
Yeah, just a regular truck, but painted on the trailer in big letters is the phrase, El Maestro viene.
Which means,
The master is coming.
whoa. Okay, that's pretty direct.
You think. The disciple is described as azarado, astonished, completely bewildered. He points it out, Master. The writing on the truck said, the master is coming.
He sees it as a sign then, Confirmation from the universe or life itself.
Absolutely. He sees it as life speaking directly to them, and the master, his reaction is interesting.
What does he do?
He just smiles.
Yeah.
And then sits down with the disciple on a park bench, almost like a quiet nod, like, see, I told you.
Yeah.
He already believes, so the sign is just confirmation.
A subtle acknowledgement. But it doesn't stop there, does it? There's another sign.
No, it keeps going. While they're sitting there talking, this girl runs past them. And as she runs, a piece of paper falls out of her backpack.
Yum, it lands.
Right in front of the disciple, he picks it up.
And the message, let me guess.
It says, Sucederá lo que necesitas.
What you need will happen.
Exactly.
Okay, that's two very specific, very unusual events back to back, mirroring their conversation.
The disciple is even more amazed now. He says something like, everything speaks, Master. Life speaks to us like this. It's impressive. It feels like reality itself is conspiring to validate their belief.
It's powerful stuff. But does it erase all doubt? Does it make the disciple feel completely ready?
Well, that's the interesting part. Even with these signs, a different kind of feeling starts to surface for him. A kind of apprehension.
How about the meeting itself?
Yeah, he starts thinking, okay, if this happens, if I actually meet someone who isn't on the physical plane, what happens to me? He says, I think my life would change forever, Master. I can't believe what's happening.
The fear of the unknown, even if it's something potentially amazing, profound change, can be scary. He can't visualize what comes after.
Exactly. He can't grasp the implications, and he actually blames his ego for this feeling.
His ego?
Yeah, he says his ego doesn't want to accept the level of profound transformation that it would imply. It's like part of him wants to stay in the reality he knows, rather than awakening to something completely new.
That makes perfect sense. It's that resistance to stepping outside the familiar, isn't it? The known, even if limiting, often feels safer than a radical shift.
And this internal conflict, this fear mixed with anticipation, leads the master to offer some really deep guidance about faith.
Okay, how does he approach it?
He says very seriously, dear brother, you must learn to trust in the invisible. And then he uses this incredible analogy. Yeah. He asks the disciple to imagine being locked in a pitch-black room all night, complete darkness.
Okay.
And all night long, he hears the distinct sound of a rattlesnake close by.
Oh, wow. That's terrifying. Instantly primal fear.
Exactly. Imagine that feeling, the certainty you're going to be bitten, maybe die. You'd probably reviewed your whole life, feel that terror deep in your bones. The master really paints the picture of that visceral fear.
A terrifying, very real experience of impending death.
But then, the next morning, the master reveals the truth.
Which is?
There was no snake. It was just a recording of a rattlesnake playing all night.
So the threat wasn't real.
The external threat, no. But the master's point is, the fear the disciple experienced, that was absolutely 100% real. His inner reality, his emotional state, was profoundly shaped by what he believed was there, even though it wasn't physically present.
That's a brilliant illustration. Our inner world, our beliefs, our fears, they create our actual felt experience, regardless of the objective external facts sometimes.
Precisely. And the master connects this directly to faith. He defines faith right then as the certainty of what is expected, the conviction of what is not seen.
Well, so faith isn't just wishful thinking. It's about the power of our conviction regarding the unseen and how that conviction shapes our actual lived reality, like the fear of the recorded snake.
Exactly. It's about understanding that our internal state, what we expect, what we believe in, even about things we can't physically touch or prove, has a tangible impact.
So wrapping this part up, this whole exchange between the master and disciple really highlights this fascinating dance, doesn't it? Between belief, expectation, and, well, the possibility of tapping into experiences that are just way outside our normal, everyday understanding.
Yeah, it suggests our inner landscape, how much we believe, how open we are to things beyond the purely physical. Maybe that's way more powerful in shaping our reality than we usually give it credit for.
It really makes you think.
It does. And it leaves us with a question for you, listening. Think about your own life. Have there been times when your internal state, maybe your fears, maybe your deeply held beliefs, clearly colored, or even created your experience of a situation?
What rattlesnake sounds, so to speak, might be playing in the background of your life right now, shaping how you feel or what you think is possible?
And, maybe more importantly, what could happen, what possibilities might just open up if you consciously chose to cultivate belief in something currently unseen, something to definitely mull over.